What's going on, guys? It's me, Stefan.
And me, Mel.
And what about others? Alright, guys, back at it again with another review, Black Clover episode 5. Yo, this episode was, to me, was really, really good. I really like the character building aspect. We got a lot of insight on what the squads are like. We're going to get into it and everything, but yeah, like it was a very good episode. There was a little bit of action in the beginning and everything, but the rest of the episode was more character building and what's going on and all that stuff. And I really enjoyed it. I really very much enjoyed it. What about you?
Yeah, I understand that we're still in the very beginning of Black Clover, but I'm now like itching for more action.
Yeah, like that's the thing. After we got a little bit of action, especially with Asta and especially with Yuno this episode, I am itching for a little bit more action, a little bit more of what everybody else is like. Everybody,
because we know for a fact great things are gonna happen.
Yeah,
and I just want it now.
Yeah,
not later.
But like the thing is, it takes time. I understand it takes time, but like I feel like they need to like get to that part a little bit.
Especially
faster,
with a new show. You have to develop the characters first.
Yeah, they do have to develop the characters.
I get it. I'm just very impatient sometimes.
Yeah, but I'm very impressed with Black Clover so far. I feel like they have a lot of things going for them, and I just can't wait for this show to actually get into the good parts. Because I know when they get to that part, they're gonna really stick their teeth in until everyone, and everyone's gonna want to.
Yeah, but I've been enjoying this show. Show a lot.
But let's go ahead and review it. So first off, we started the episode with Asta versus that other guy again, and we actually got the reactions of the squads, the captains, because last episode we didn't see their reaction, but this episode after Asta did that to that guy, I forget his name, he's not that important, whatever. But after he did that to him, like even the captains were like, whoa, like, well, is he using some kind of magic, some speed magic, like what's going on, whatever. And then Yami from the Black Bulls was like, nah, I don't think he's using magic. I think because Yami touched him. Remember from episode 4, Yami touched his head and everything, and Yami didn't feel any I forgot what they call it. It's like some type of it's to see if you have any magical powers or whatever, but he didn't sense any magic inside of him. So he was like, he's just physically strong, and physically gifted. So that was very interesting. And then even like the guy from the Golden Dawn, I believe the captain from the Golden Dawn, he actually took a he noticed Asta, and like he was like, I think he felt like Asta had a lot of potential, but he didn't have magical powers or whatever. But I'm gonna get into that because,
and that's pretty much the base of like, that's the one thing that you look for.
That is the one thing you look for.
So he didn't even have magic.
Yeah, mage, so to be in the knights on the magic knights. You have to be a mage with magical powers. You need to have magical powers, and Asta doesn't have that, obviously. So, in the Golden Dawn is like the most prestige magic knights, and that's
because the captain, he's the closest to the wizard king. The wizard king.
Yeah, he is the closest to the wizard king, which we're gonna get into and everything. But the one thing that interests me, everybody's taking, and he obviously know. I don't know if the other captains knows as well. But he obviously knew something about Asta's grimoire, because he even looked at Asta's grimoire. He's like, "Oh, that grimoire!" Like I felt like he knew about that grimoire. You're talking about
the
Golden Dawn captain.
Yeah, he
did He looked at the grimoire. He was like, "What?" Like he knows that grimoire from someone. He didn't say anything. But going back to it and everything. So after that, we got a couple more preliminary matches and everything. We got a couple more mages going at it, and like we saw some guy with like some water magic, and another guy he was like making like clay men and everything.
It was like a sand monster.
Yes, like a sandman. He was making sandmans and everything. They were going at it. It was pretty awesome to see.
And he was actually royal.
Yeah, those two guys were like so like there's a difference between peasants and guys from the boonies and royalty. So like royalty are like they're in a high caliber with their magic and everything, because I guess they're taught really good magic at a young age, so their magical powers are like really, really good. But so yeah, Asta was like, oh my god, this is incredible, whatever. Everybody's like, oh, maybe this guy's not even that serious or whatever. But so we cut to that, and we get to see Yuno, 4-leaf Clover book with some guy that's really supposedly really strong, and
he
he's
actually
like a royalty.
Approached Yuno because no one wanted to go against Yuno.
Nobody wanted to go against Yuno, and that guy specifically went against Yuno because he wanted to prove everybody, even though he has a 4-leaf clover, he's not royalty, so he's not that great. which we got to see that guy was completely wrong. That guy had some interesting magical powers with like thunder and electricity and everything. But with his wind powers and wind magic,
it was like a tornado.
He just obliterated that dude. It wasn't even it was no contest. Like that guy just got obliterated by Yuno, which was very, very impressive. So and it goes to show why he has the 4-leaf clover book. So fast forward and everything. We get to the point where the captains,
where everyone basically already fought with their opponent, and now they are either gonna go back home or get picked by one of the captains.
Exactly. So the rules were as is. So like one of the captains, I think it was the guy from the Crimson captain or whatever, I forget his name, but he was saying the rules, and he basically was saying that they're gonna pick. They're basically gonna call the numbers for it because everybody has a sequential number. So they're gonna call your number for it and they're gonna call number whatever. If a captain wants you, they'll raise their hand. If they don't want you, they'll be like, you have no offers, go ahead and leave the premises.
And
or whatever.
If you have multiple offerings, then you can choose which one you want to be a part of.
Exactly. And like basically no, everybody went through and they got.
Well, not everyone went through. There's a lot of people. Like I forgot. I think the first couple, I think it was like the first 100 or so.
Yeah, it was like first 50.
Don't quote me on that.
50, yeah.
Yeah, they like no one wanted them.
Yeah, but like what I was saying is everybody went through, but only a couple people got chosen.
Yeah.
But like I think the first person that got chosen was from the Poison faction or like Night captain or whatever, Poison captain. I think it was number 70 something or so. So they picked him, and then they went on and on. And then what ended up happening is everybody was like, most of the people fell out, right? But when they got to Yuno, and everybody was only one at a time, one captain. It was never multiple captain, one person. But when they got to Yuno, all 5 captains, or not 5, I think it's 7 captains. They have 7 factions or whatever. Don't quote me on that, but I think it is 7. But all captains basically raised their hand and basically wanted Yuno, which was very, very interesting because they were saying the silver whatever, the guy with the silver hair or whatever, his squad and the Golden Dawn, they usually don't bring in peasants. They usually only have royalty in their squads. But for some reason, they even raised their hand for Yuno because they knew that Yuno was special.
Yeah, and everyone was like shocked, everyone, like even those 2 specific captains raised their hand for him,
right? And basically end up choosing Golden Dawn because he thought that was the closest, that was basically the easiest path for him to becoming Wizard King, because that squad the captain is basically the closest to becoming Wizard King. But so yeah, fast forward, we go to Asta, right? So big shocker for Asta. When he stepped forward and they called his number, I think it was 165. No captain raised their hand. Not one captain raised their hand for Asta, which was very surprising after everybody's reaction to what Asta and the other guy had, and he just demolished the other dude. So it was very interesting to see that. But Asta would not leave, even though they said like to leave or whatever, because after they call your number or whatever and you get no offers, you're supposed to leave. But Asta did not want to leave.
Yeah.
And then Yami from the Black Bulls, the captain, got up and he was like, look. And then interestingly enough, after Asta won his match and everything, he was like, oh, I'm gonna be Wizard King. And the captains picked up on that. It was like, oh, this guy wants to be Wizard King, but he has no magical powers. So Yami was telling him that. Yami was like, look, I understand you might have some type of physical abilities, but we don't know anything about your abilities, and from what you showed us, you don't have any magical powers. So even though you might have these abilities and you're strong, we can't go ahead and get you in a magical knight squad because you don't have any magical powers. So like that, he was explaining that and breaking it down for him, and then he was like, if you want to become Wizard King, let me basically show you a knight's magical power. If you ever want to become Wizard King, if you have no magic, let me show you what my magic is like. And he started his magic, right? That thing was incredible. Yeah. Like his pressure was like shaking the whole stadium. The whole stadium could not believe this guy's pressure. Like, and he jumped down and started walking towards Asta, and very courageously, whatever. I might be butchering that word, but I'm not an English major. But so basically, Asta was very he stood his ground. He basically stood there. He was sweating. Courageous. He was sweating everything, but like he basically looked Yami in the eyes and just stayed there. It's like most people would probably ran like, damn, this dude's crazy.
He's intimidating.
He's very intimidating. And like he asked him, he was like, I forgot what question he specifically asked him, but he was like, something about like, do you still want to become Wizard King or whatever? And what are you gonna do? And Asta was like, it doesn't matter how many times I fall, how many times I come back, I'm still gonna be pushing to become Wizard King. And basically that moved Yami, and Yami was like, okay, whatever, you're gonna come on my squad, and one day I hopefully want to see you become Wizard King.
Yeah.
So that very much motivated Asta, and Asta got picked by the Black Bulls and everything. But very interesting. So it's very interesting with these two characters. It kind of makes sense that they go to these type of faction because fast forward, whatever, Asta and Yuno, they say their goodbyes, and one of the guys, the guy that Asta went against, he was kind of mad.
He was upset. And Asta had went to use the restroom, and this guy was basically planning on, I don't know, he took like, it was like a lizard. Yeah, he made a magical lizard and everything. And I don't know what he was planning on doing with that, but Yuno came right behind him and saw like what he was trying to do. And he basically, it was like a claw. Yeah, it was like a hawk. It was like a hawk. He made like a hawk figure type of thing. A hawk figure with his magic powers. Yeah. And it grabbed onto the lizard. And then basically Yuno had scared that guy away. And the guy was like, oh, I wasn't trying to do anything. Yeah. Like he was trying to avoid any type of confrontation with Yuno. Yeah, and Yuno specifically said to the guy, you're no match for Asta. You need to get out of here. Yeah, that was... I wasn't expecting Yuno to say that. Very interesting thing. They're starting to show different aspects of these magics because we haven't seen this aspect before. We've seen people with magical powers throwing water, whatever, but we're seeing people using their magic in different ways. Like that guy using his magic to make a lizard. Yuno using his wind magic to make like an eagle and everything. A hawk. Yeah, so like very interesting. So they're starting to break us in and showing us like different aspects about this show. So it's not like they have only one specific magic. Yeah, like they can do multiple things. Yeah, so really they can do a lot of things, which I really like. So going back to what I was saying, so fast forward, Yuno and Asta, they say their goodbyes and everything, and basically Asta is going to the Black Bulls headquarters, and Asta cannot use any magic, right? So he can't fly, use a broom or anything. So they're opening a portal for him, so they could go through and go to the Black Bulls, Black Bulls, their base basically, and everybody goes through and everything, and Asta gets there. And then a funny thing is Asta goes, and you notice during the Black Bulls you see different areas of the base, and you see different windows, and they're all red, looking like there's light in them, right? And then Asta goes open the door. He's like, yes, I'm finding Black Bulls. Here I am. It was like a trap. Yeah, here I am, Asta, whatever. As soon as he opens the door, he freaking bursts in flame and gets thrown off and everything. You see like the door that he opened was freaking fire. There's literally fire inside the house. Yeah. So every freaking window you saw that had lights, that's fire. So like that's why I was like, that's crazy. And then freaking Yami was like, oh, welcome to the freaking worst not team. I don't know what. I think they call them squads of the Magic Knights. It was like a I think they just call them squads. Yeah, and that stuck out to me. Yeah, but he wasn't saying the weakest. So that's something totally different. I feel like they're one of the strongest squads out there. But they're just reckless. I think so as well, because even in the beginning when we got introduced to Yami and his other guys, they said that's one of the most reckless squads in the Magic Kingdom. Yeah. So basically, what I'm thinking is they're basically the worst squad in the aspect where every time they go get a mission accomplished or whatever, they basically do more damage. They do more damage than good. So that's pretty much what I get from that. But I also feel like it's fitting for those characters because Asta going to that squad and Yuno going to the other squad, because Yuno is he's kind of a prestige character. Yeah, he has so much aura about him, and he's just so powerful and everything. Like, and he has a 4-leaf clover book and everything. He has so much potential. Like they fit in where they were placed. Exactly. So it feels like Yuno is in the right environment where he's gonna learn so much under the Golden Dawn and that captain, because he's so developed. I don't think he can carry himself so well. Exactly, but the thing is, I don't even think the other squads would have helped him that much to develop even higher. I think that squad would develop him like he's supposed to be developed, and I feel like the Black Bulls
will develop Asta like he's supposed to be developed, because Asta's kind of reckless. He's like a reckless character.
Yeah, and I feel like the captain from the Black Bulls,
Yami,
I feel like he's gonna kind of set him straight, because Asta's just everywhere at this point. Like he just can't stay still. And I feel like Yami is gonna kind of like lay down the rules.
I feel like he's gonna learn a lot, and I feel like Yami's gonna teach him. If he can't use magical powers, I feel like Yami will teach him another way to get things done. Because like if you notice, Yami does have a lot of magical pressure, a lot of magical powers, but he's really, really strong compared to all the other mages out there. He was the only one that looked pretty much physically fit.
Yeah.
Every other mage was kind of scrawny, and he's the only one that's kind of buff and everything. So I feel like Yami is going to teach Asta a lot of things. Yeah,
I definitely feel like Yami is a great fit for Asta.
Yeah, for sure. But hopefully you guys like the review. Alright guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Follow us on Instagram and on Twitter. The link will be in the description below.
Definitely guys. See you guys later. Struckbybelz out.